Welcome back to Key is King. Today we are getting into another full episode review. This time we are doing the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and you know we're in for a treat per usual. Season 5, Episode 8, let's get to it. So we open with a scene of Lisa and Meredith going to the spa, and they're having a little refresher day, a little hangout girls day. It's quickly revealed that Heather will be joining because she called Lisa on the way to the spa because she's having a fight, or the same day she fought with Bronwyn at her house, and she's like reeling from that, and she's coming to tell Lisa and Meredith all the stuff about it. So the OGs are truly clicked up this season, minus Whitney and Mary. But the three OGs are very, very much like acting like the mafia. They're watching each other's backs. They're Heather and Lisa are all of a sudden besties and all this shit. So they're just doing their thing. But Heather eventually does come to the spa after they get their massages, and she's just filling them in on her version of the truth, which, spoiler alert, is it really the truth, Heather? So in my humble opinion, Heather is just lying. She's using the word like basically a lot, and like if you're telling a story and you just keep saying, well, basically, that means you're not telling the truth. And the fact that Meredith and Lisa are just like eating this up is like almost giving me nausea. But she's like just putting sauce on things, using basically every other word it seems. Is to me just clearly like pushing whatever narrative she wants on the situation. And she's just always the victim, as I always say. She's just continually the victim. And it's so tiring. Like, I would hate to be around her. I really would. So her being the victim and talking about this fight transitions to Bronwyn calling Lisa on FaceTime and telling her about the trip. So this is happening clearly after Heather leaves because Bronwyn's in the same fit. So, okay, maybe this is the same day. Context clues. So Bronwyn's calling to invite her, and as she's calling her, she's asking if she'll be okay on this couples trip with Whitney and Justin because they just almost got into a fist fight. And Lisa wants to be offended by this so bad. She's acting so offended that Bronwyn would ask her, because I guess it implies that her and John can't control themselves or started this. And you almost got into a fist fight and your husband was aggressive towards Justin a couple times. So asking that question is normal, but it's giving fuel to this fire. It's giving them, and that's what Heather does. Heather literally is taking back information, misinformation, misleading information, and is just seemingly going there to stir everybody up and get something going and to create a narrative against Bronwyn. And it's pathetic, and it's just because she can't keep up and she can't handle Bronwyn, so you have to do that to like disparage her. It's like how I'm looking at this, and how it seems, and it's just so whack. It's so whack. So somehow and unfortunately we end this scene of misinformation with Meredith dragging the same repetitive storyline for another season. She's now claiming that Angie's husband Sean said something about Brooks on a podcast and people need to leave the kids out of it and stop talking about Brooks. You need to stop talking about Brooks. You brought your child on the show and try to flaunt him and show him off like he is not fucking the white version of Squidward. Like, get out of here. She needs to hang it up. Hang it up. In the closet. With a lock on it. Don't bring it back. Please. So we flash over to Bronwyn, and she is packing for California they're going to. I think Palm Springs. If not, somewhere fucking close enough. But she's FaceTiming Todd, who's in Korea. So Todd's old man Todd, as I should say, his old ass is in Korea doing business meetings, eating sushi. Is gonna fly back to go to California. Like, being rich seems exhaustingly fun. Because he's doing this on a private plane. I don't know if they own this private plane or if they have bought this private plane or rented it for this occasion, but they have a private plane that they're bringing everybody on. So I need that Todd money. I need that Palm Pilot money. Because Todd don't be playing. And speaking of don't be playing, he's on FaceTime talking about, like, are we going to have, like, a good weekend? Because, remind you, they're going to this celebration to celebrate their anniversary of, like, meeting each other, Bronwyn and Todd. That's why they're having a couples trip. That's why they're going. And so Todd's like, I don't want to have drama with these people. He literally referred to them as these people. And there was something so satisfying. It felt like white on white violence. He was like, I don't want to have drama with these people. It was like, wow, wow, Todd, you are just, like, housewives are rich and they act rich, but this man is, like, rich, and you can tell by his, like, arrogance and his, like, fed upness with everything. He's like, I'm rich enough, I don't have to deal with this shit. Like, I buy, like, ease and access. So Todd was not feeling it, and he literally said, I don't want to deal with these people. And I was gooped. I was gooped and I was gagged, as they say. But I love that. And then they move on to just more packing montages. They have Angie and Sean, and they're talking about the trip and how they project things will go. And that boils down to Sean is like, Lisa's mean to you a lot, or she was mean to you a lot. Like, she always has been kind of mean. So they're talking about Lisa in that kind of context and just how mean she is to Angie. And Angie's like, yeah, I think you're right. They talk about Whitney and Justin. And I think this is when Justin reveals to Whitney that Lisa wanted an apology. And Whitney's like, absolutely fucking not. You are not apologizing to her. Like, she can fucking forget about it. And so that's that. So Lisa can have fun with that. I'm sure she will. And speaking of Lisa, they flash over to her and what's her husband's name? John Barlow. And they're packing in. Lisa has, like, cases like this. It's like a fucking, like, organized, like, big ass box of just, she has multiple of them of sunglasses, and John's like, are you bringing all of these? She's like, no, just like 1 or 2 or 5 pairs. So she's packing and she's saying how she wants an apology from Justin, and John's like, I don't know if you're gonna get that. He said he'll have to think about it. And she's just like, oh, okay. Also, something I did not mention in my last video because I, like, caught it probably on a rewatch or something, but when Justin went to go meet John in that episode, he had a bag of something, and they never showcased it in the show or said what it was, but I want to know what was in that bag. Did he bring him his empty Vita Tequila bottles? Did he just bring him, like, more of the shit that he had in his house? Like, I want to know what's in that bag, and I probably will never know unless Bravo writes a randomly detailed tell-all book again. But I want to know. I want to know. But I won't know, so I guess I'll let it go for now. But yeah, they are all packing and talking about each other per usual. Also worth mentioning before we move on from this scene altogether is that Lisa is saying that she wants Angie and Whitney to apologize to her. And then she starts crying about the bad mom thing because she's going to drag that for the rest of eternity, apparently. So she turns the apology talk into bad mom talk. Again, because she's taking every opportunity to remind us that people think she's a shitty mom. Which makes me feel like she thinks she's a shitty mom. But she does say, it's not funny, bad key in. She does say that she, like, that's one of her, like, major insecurities or concerns, that she's not being a good mom, but, like, kind of it's one of those things, like, if the shoe fits, wear it, and a hit dog will holla, as Nene would say, but, like, if you're not a bad mom, that shit would not be affecting you so hard. Just saying. And I don't believe I mentioned this before, but Mary is not going to be on this trip, which means she won't really be in this episode. She called Bronwyn to say that she was hanging out with her son and could not go on the trip. She wasn't in last week's episode, which means we're getting 2 episodes pretty much without Mary involvement, and I'm going to need them to end this trip expeditiously. I'm going to need them to do something different and bring her back, because Mary is a key element to me, to this show. So I'm going to need Mary to bring it on back. Thank you. Thank you, Bravo. So they move on to get on the private jet that Bronwyn either owns or rented. Either way, she could get a private jet for all of them. And she does this little, like, stewardess, hostess, like, spiel speech that incorporates all of the drama in it. It was very witty for Bronwyn. It was nice for her, but I'm not going to bother trying to recreate it. But that was her intro to the private jet. Everyone gets on, yada, yada, yada. They quickly cut to the cars. They separate into different cars. Angie is paired with Whitney. If they had another couple in there, they don't matter in this moment. They are driving, and so Angie's between 2 of the husbands, and she's like, oh, is this a safe place to be? Like, you guys have been getting, like, rowdy lately. And she goes on to say, like, Justin, if you were to step to me, I'd step back. And this is why I love Angie. This is why she's the Greek camp counselor of life. Because she's just so funny, and I'm sure she means it. So she was like, step to me if you want to. I'm going to step back. This ain't Lisa. That was very funny. And speaking of Lisa, they cut to her in her car talking her shit. Because they're all respectively talking shit about each other, as to be anticipated. And Lisa's talking about Heather and Heather not being there, and how she feels about that. Which, say it to the cows come home. It's not going to make her appear out of thin air. So Lisa's upset that Heather's not there, and she wants everyone to know why. So she's talking about that. Good job. Really, like, her defense of Heather is, like, delusional, and we all know it. But let them rock out, I guess. And then, because she's talking about Heather, they flash back to a scene of Meredith and Lisa talking to Bronwyn on the private jet about Heather and their fight. And she's really just being, like, essentially defending Heather. That's how I took it. Something was weird, though. I'm like, am I missing something? Is something, like, not going on? Like, she is just so up Heather's ass. But the OGs, like I said before, are so clicked up and they're so serious about it that it's giving, like, weird for some of them. But yeah, they were talking to her about her fight with Heather, and Lisa, once again, didn't really seem to be, like, it wasn't favorable to Bronwyn. That was the tone of it. And it was highly noted. It was highly noted. They finally get to this house, and this house is nice as fuck and rich as fuck. Like, these people have money. They're bringing wealth to this franchise, and this franchise already had a little something going on, but these people are, like, stinking rich. To prove my point, they have this, like, estate with wings to it, so they can literally be separated, and there's horses in stables on the property. Now, if you know anything about money, you know anything about horses. So you are, like, renting a place that just has horses. I know you have money. I was like, whoa, the house is gorgeous. It really was. And all these bitches love, I tried my hardest. The universe has been saying, like, maybe I need to stop with the bitches word, but, like, it just slipped out. Because these are like, oh, this is money. Like, you could see the excitement. They're like, oh, we don't have money like this. So that's what we need in a housewife show. So I love that. I really do. So as soon as I get to this nice ass house, Seth is immediately looking for a room with a tub. Because Meredith has made her storyline about a bathtub, has gotten into fights about a bathtub. Meredith has made she has lost her shit on the group about not getting a bathtub, as she was, like, almost dying. So Meredith is very serious about bathtubs, and Seth is, like, running around the house like a scared fucking puppy trying to find a bathtub, which he does not find. So Meredith's gonna have to wash her ass like the rest of us on this trip. Poor you. But it was funny that he was really that desperately trying to find a bathtub, and it just did not work. Rich people problems, I guess. I guess that's, you don't have to be rich to like a bathtub, so maybe I'll shut the fuck up. They cut to Bronwyn, Angie, and Whitney in one room describing how the OG clique has 2 couples, and they took the side of the house with 3 bedrooms. So she's like, okay, I guess they're just going to have to, like, be near somebody they don't really like, or something to that effect. But at this point, she's manifesting a problem with Lisa, is how I put it in my notes, because she's, like, keeps referring to them as being, like, the oldest friends and blah, 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 but I feel like she is just literally, like, looking for a reason to be mad and engage with her, which I don't think I'm wrong, and we'll get to in a second, but she's manifesting this. And to me, with evidence in a little bit. I'll tell you in a little bit, but they're all doing that. They're getting settled, they're picking their rooms, and everybody seems to be okay for the most part, because in a house like that, I don't think you could really be upset. Like, the views, everything is just spectacular. And Whitney, you know who does know this? Whitney. Whitney is shameless about the fact that she's like, baby, these are rich people. Like, these are probably she's like, we've been on a couple trips before. They are not this nice. So she is trying to be in good graces and be besties with Bronwyn as best as she can, because she knows where the money resides. Oh my God, Whitney was killing me, because she is shameless like, babe, we cannot fuck this up. This is the best trip we've ever been on. These people are rich. They drove us here in a private jet. Like, Whitney's not playing. She's ready to do whatever. Ooh, look at me, getting excited. She's ready to do whatever for this trip and this money. And that's relatable. They have, like, a quick, useless scene outside of, like, the minority clique, the OG clique couples outside. And Lisa's claiming that she doesn't like to go to Italy and stay there for too long because she doesn't like the food. And okay, at first you might think, oh, whatever, but, like, Okay, people have preferences. She goes on to say she doesn't like the food because it's too fresh. Bitch. What? Everybody was like, what? Even her husband was like, too fresh. Like, and this is why Mary said your kids don't have nutrients. And this is why your son has a stomach ache in Colombia for eating seasoned food. Too fresh. Your food is too fresh. You are going to die early. And I'm not even trying to wish that on you, but like you just said, food was too fresh. Like what? Ooh, baby gorgeous. You are baby stupid right now. My God. Too fresh. I will never get over that. I hope everybody makes her live that forever. Or explain. Because what? I have to move on. Because I will stay on this for another 30 minutes. They move on to Bronwyn having a diamond lady come to the house. Now, I said a diamond lady. They had a woman, a nice little Asian woman, come from LA to wherever the fuck they are, because California, if you know, can take 3 to 4 to fucking probably half a day to get across if you try to. This woman comes from over yonder with diamonds for Bronwyn to look at for a potential gift for their anniversary of meeting. Just meeting, not even their wedding anniversary, just meeting. Y'all. The necklace that she looked at, that she mentioned and showed a picture that her dog tried on, is worth $4 million. Four of them. Then they pull out a pair of earrings that is $1.4 million. So we have almost $5.5 million worth of jewelry on the table, and they're casually looking at this shit like it's a fucking Snickers and like a Kit Kat. I told you, wealth. These people have money. Money. And then she didn't even decide which one she wanted. She kept both of them and looked at the lady and was like, we'll let you know what we decide. What? Where are you? What type of rich do you have to be where people leave you diamonds to decide? That is wealth I want to know. That is wealth I will touch. Claiming it now in the name of diamonds and Jesus. Because it's like, I don't know. I have to like call myself with this. I don't even know what this is. Fucking, that is some of the richest shit I've seen in a while, I think, on Housewives. I mean, Heather Dubrow actually just sold her fucking house for like $55 million, so like I could, and we were born on the same day, so manifesting that shit in my life too. But my God, that was so fucking rich. It was so good. It was so good. The whole time Bronwyn is going through this diamond selection process, Angie and Sean are playing volleyball, and Angie's little fucking, she's wearing like a fucking wrestling unitard essentially. So she and Sean are playing volleyball. Angie hits it into the water, and so the entire time Bronwyn is picking out and looking at these diamonds, they edited it to be that Angie's in the background, literally on this big floaty thing, like flapping a kayak paddle on the water to get the volleyball back to shore, which worked. Which Sean in his tight ass, maybe gay clothes looked good. I could see why people might accuse him of being gay because he just had the body yada yada, and I could see why Angie married his ass even if he was. Because I was like, that was the first time I genuinely looked at him and was like, okay, alright, Sean. So that was hilarious because they did all that flopping while Bronwyn's looking at diamonds. And then Angie, what did she do? The second they get the ball back on shore, she hits it back in the water again. So once again, comedic relief. Angie's fucking funny. I love her. And Sean seems to be kind of funny too and just a good pairing. So that was a quality scene all the way around. Between the richness and the campiness, it was beautiful. So we transition to the OG clique and their husbands, and Seth comes outside to reveal to Meredith that he has to leave to go to work in Ohio the next day. Mind you, they just got there that afternoon, and he's saying he has to leave in the morning to go to work. And Meredith is like fucking pissed. She does not try to hide it. She makes it very clear. She has a very public argument in front of Lisa and John about like, what are you doing? And she literally uses the words like, this does not add up. Which was an interesting choice of words because they have a history of dating other people and seeing other people and all this stuff. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, do you think he has a little side piece? Because Seth is fine. And we've gone over this before. So Meredith is like, this does not add up. What do you mean you have to go to work? Like, you just got here, you were gone for like 5 days. And she was like, we're repeating a cycle. Because apparently this is what helped dissolve their marriage before. Seth had a job, and they were living in Toronto, I guess, and it was 1 to 2 days, turned into 5 days a week. He's at this job, and by the time he's home, he has to go again, which John Barlow seems to be able to relate to. And it's comforting Seth in that way. But Meredith is like pissed, and she's not having it. And Seth is like kind of not at a loss. He seems like at a loss in the moment, but he's just like, what the, like, fuck, dude. And he says something. Hold on, let me reference. Oh, he, in a confessional moment, which we know are very telling, he says he can't manage the cracks in the relationship every fucking day. And I was like, wow, that was a lot. That was very telling. So apparently the cracks are creeping back into Seth and Meredith's marriage, which that randomly reminded me that Meredith shared with Heather at the beginning of the episode that she was getting bar mitzvahed again, and Heather was so happy because, once again, she's a religious fucking cult slut. Like, I don't know what else to call her. But she's like, God, that was bad, probably. I mean, it's my channel. So she mentioned that she's getting bar mitzvahed, and Heather's like, oh, please make sure I'm invited to this one, and I don't get left out, because she got left out of Lisa telling everyone that Jack went on a mission. So I had a random Heather trigger moment. But yeah, so that was Seth and Meredith in their potentially in trouble marriage again. And that's sad for them. But I don't know how else I would take that too if my husband was like just all of a sudden gone 5 days a week and barely home. Not gonna go? Well. So they kind of flash to a scene, or not flash to it, they move on to a scene of everybody by the pool. And so Lisa and Meredith are like on one side of the pool by themselves while everybody else is on the other. And they're each respectively kind of talking about the other group. Whitney and them are actively talking about how weird it is that they came outside the OG twosome and just like didn't come say hi, didn't talk to them, or just like sitting there by themselves. And so that is fucking weird. And there is some tension that is in the air, and obviously so, there's a lot fucking going on with these people, so they're starting to feel it, let's say. It's getting thick over there in California. So they're all separate, and the husbands are like, okay, we're gonna have fun. So they get together to play cornhole, and one of them goes, do your wives know that you're over here? Like, did you get permission? Which is typical way of men making small talk and breaking the ice. Angie decides she's gonna unite the girls with tequila shots, and once again, my type of girl. And she's going to make sure that they're Vita tequila shots, so Lisa is included, and it's like a little olive branch in a way, or just like a little playing nice in the sandbox gesture. So Angie is getting Vita tequila shots for everybody, which works. They all get together and they're all sitting around, and now they're having conversation at least. And the husbands are on one side of the pool, and the ladies are like in another segment of the pool, and they're just chilling. Meredith brings up that she has hearing aids, and that's the best decision she ever made, probably, and she's very happy about that. Angie's like, well, you inspired me, I think I need them fucking too. And then they move on to the husbands talking, and Seth makes a very weird comment to me. Mind you, Meredith is mad about whatever Sean said about Brooks. And they cut to a scene, speaking of this, at their anniversary party that Meredith was lucky enough to be invited to. She had confronted Sean about what he said about Brooks. And he kind of stood on it. He was like, yep, I said it. That's how I felt. What are you, like, what? And so I just don't get what Seth was doing. He knows that there's been allegations against Sean being gay. He knows that his wife has, like, had these issues. And he's like, you can judge every straight man by his wife. And then tries to say that, like, we all did great, like, judging by our wives. But it was just like, why would you say that? Like, I don't know if you were trying to be, like, LGBT, like, inclusive, or, like, I don't know what it was. But in a group of straight men in a pool talking about you can judge every straight man by his wife, like, it just felt odd to me. It didn't feel like a genuine comment for some reason. And that's just how it landed to me. That's just how it landed to me. So, as they flash over to the girls in the pool, Bronwyn goes to the bathroom, and Lisa is bringing up Heather and how she wishes she was there and how she misses her. And Meredith is 100% co-signing her, and she's like, yeah, me too, like, I feel the same way, blah, 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 blah. And so this leads to Lisa being like, okay, I'm going to FaceTime Heather then right now. which everybody else seems to know that is a shitty idea. Mayor definitely didn't pick up her fucking phone. But maybe Lisa was the intended carrier out of this. But she decides she's going to call Heather and tell her how much he misses her and all this, which to me is an orchestrated plan amongst all of them, because Heather just needed to be involved and she wanted to know what's happening. So bad, probably. And Bronwyn comes outside while they're on the phone because she went to the bathroom, not Texas. Like, why would you do that? And so Bronwyn's like, oh, should I, like, come back? Should I not? Like, should I be here? And she proceeds to sit down. Lisa hung up that phone, and Lisa got served up. Bronwyn is serving up the OG crew like it is her fucking job, because it is. And I'll digress right now to say that Lisa was taking me aback because she looked good. Like, I didn't know she had what clearly to me is a boob job. But, because I feel like she covers herself a lot, but she looked good in her bikini. I was like, okay, Lisa. It's giving kind of old in the face, but, like, the body's bodying. I was like, okay, alright. But I digress, because that's not the point right now. She hands her the phone, and Bronwyn just kind of lets her have it. Bronwyn is witty. She's good with her words. Baby, when I tell y'all, what I tell y'all, y'all will be told. In the words of a great drag queen. But I told y'all, Bronwyn is not playing, and she's fucking smart. And the newbies in this season of franchises, in this season of Housewives and the different franchises, the newbies are serving classic, strategic, mindful housewives. And let me tell you why. So, Bronwyn proceeds to lay into Lisa. She, like, unleashes on her. And she's just like, Lisa, you want to know what? You never say shit when it's about me, but I have to always defend you, and I'm over it. And so, that last episode, if you remember, I was like, Bronwyn is, like, oddly defending Lisa all of a sudden, it seems like. But this bitch was playing chess because she had this move calculated from the beginning. She knew she was going to flip and turn and chew on all these OGs. And this is what the fuck I'm talking about. If you're going to come on this show, if you're going to be a housewife, you better play chess like this. So let me break it down a little more. Bronwyn last episode she was randomly she was randomly just defending Lisa. And seemingly just like blindly like, no, I don't know. That's not my experience with Lisa. I don't know what you're talking about. But she said that just so she could say what she said this episode, which is like, when people say things about you, I defend you. I tell them that I don't know that version of you. Because technically, what does she do on camera? Just that. So she's like, when people talk about me, like Heather, you just believe them and then start asking me about what happened or what is the thing. She's like, I just want you to, like, believe me and be my friend. So she has painted Lisa into a corner, and Lisa is like, when you catch her off guard, you know she glitches out. Bronwyn is chewing. Lisa's trying to get Buck. All the husbands are like, oh, the volume's raising. Todd is just like, what's going on? Because Todd is ready to shut it down with these people, especially the Barlows. So they're trying to do it. It does not go well. Bronwyn's like, no, fuck this, fuck you. I'm not having it. And she storms out of the pool saying that apparently she needs to ride Lisa's dick for her to be happy. Like, wow. She storms off, and who goes after her but, of course, gold digging Whitney, who's making sure she keeps her rich friend after Bronwyn screaming about how Lisa does not check up on her, doesn't see if she's okay, because that was another element to this. Bronwyn's like, let's check up on you after your fights and see how you are. You never check on me after you just don't defend me either. So Whitney made sure she went to go check on her paycheck in her private jet home. She was like, are you okay? And, like, is talking to her about it. Before she stormed off, though, Todd comes over and is, like, trying to defuse the situation. And he's like, why don't you just call Heather if you want to talk about Heather so much? And Angie goes, we already did that, Todd. It didn't work. Be quiet, which was funny. But, yeah, they storm off. Lisa is defending herself to the death because you know how Baby Gorgeous gets down. And Bronwyn is just going off to Whitney. And she's like, no, fuck this. I'm not wrong. And Lisa needs to get it the fuck together. As she told her, she needs to figure it out. Whew. For Housewives, it was pretty intense. All this fighting over Heather. So as Whitney is checking on her paycheck, Todd comes in and she's like, "Do you want me to leave?" And he's like, "Yeah, bye." And Bronwyn's like, "Yeah, bye." So Todd comes in and Todd's not having it. He's regulating. I saw a lot of chat on the internets that people think Todd is like possibly like abusive, not even physically, but just like that Bronwyn is like shriveled and like small, and I didn't read it like that. I just read it as like she knew that they had this conversation already and how Todd felt. Similar to when Todd was just like, you know how I feel about the baby daddy stuff. Like, Todd seems like he does not play games. He seems like he's very fucking upfront with how he feels. So he came in and was like, "Look, I'm not dealing with this, and I told you I'm not dealing with this. I'd rather tell them to fucking leave." And Bronwyn's like, "Maybe I should do it because I'm nicer." And Todd's like, "Somebody better do something." So Todd is just like, "Nope, I'm doing it." And once again, people feel like he was kind of yelling at Bronwyn and putting her down. I didn't take it that way. Maybe I'm just a stupid man. I like to think of myself a little more than that, but maybe I am. I don't know. But Todd's like, "Okay, bet." Regulation continued. He goes outside to John, and he comes in hot. And as he's coming in hot, Angie's in the background and hears this, and she's like about to walk out to the pool or something, and she literally does one of like the, she like does the mannequin challenge really quick. And it's unclear if she stood to listen to the drama or she like scurried back inside, but it was so funny that he was coming outside to confront John, and she was just like, "Should I be here?" So Angie, whether she was there or not, Todd let John know straight up. He was like, "Look, Bronwyn's upset. I'm not doing this with Lisa. Either she needs to stop talking, get it together, or you guys can leave." And John Barlow immediately shoots out of his chair and he's like, "I'll go talk to Lisa." He finds Lisa in her room doing something to her hair, and he's like, "What happened with you and Bronwyn?" And she's like explaining the story. She's mad about Heather, whatever. "I'm not going to engage." She's like, "Well, Todd just said something to me." And Lisa's like, "Well, what did he say?" He said, "We can either like stop our shit or like we can leave." And the to be continued cliffhanger leaves with Lisa with her mouth open like a fish, just gooped and gagged, because she stays gooped and she stays gagged. But once again, the ladies of the Salt Lake City, I'm leaving full. I'm leaving full, and I just keep eating. It's like a fucking buffet over there in Salt Lake. It was amazing. I can't wait for more. And I hope you guys are tuned in. Like, if you have been watching these videos, but you have not watched the show, binge it. You have something to watch. I promise you, if you love a little entertainment, if you love to get your mind off of shit, this is the perfect type of show. Like, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And I encourage you to go back to season 1, because from the start, this show has been great for 5 seasons straight. So, the ladies of Salt Lake, I can't give it up enough. You are the #1 spot. Even though OC was really fucking good, and they just ended, I actually have to go watch the reunion. Obviously, I'm not reviewing them, but Salt Lake, you got a place in my heart, babe. And Mary, you better be on my screen for more than 2 minutes next episode, or I'm going to write a letter and have a bitch fit. But, as always, please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Please come back for more. Please come back for more, and watch more videos while you're at it. All right. Bye.